Well, it appears Carlo Ancelotti has 11.5 million reasons for smiling. If that's the salary that he's agreed, that's a lot of money for Everton to spend if true. Do you think it'll be money well spent?
I can't say, I wouldn't say yes or no. I would certainly err on the side of caution though, because whether I'm assuming they're going to give him money, let's put it that way.
They have to, sure.
The problem he has is he's fishing in a different pond to the other big teams around the world, never mind in the Premier League. So, you know, you look at Everton's team right now on paper. A lot of money's been spent on those players. But unfortunately, those players weren't good enough for your Liverpools or your Cities or your Real Madrids or your Barcelonas. They're actually only good enough for a team who are pushing to get out the pack in the Premier League. And they're not even playing that way right now. They're playing below what they should be. So where is he going to change it? Is he going to make wholesale changes, which I think is needed? But then again, where are these wholesale changes, where are these players coming from? Are they coming from the same pool as where the last lot came from? So if I'm asked a question like that, I'm going to err on the side of caution and say, this is going to be a tough job.
How do you think he did when he was at Chelsea? I mean, decent record, some trophies, manager of the month as well, but that was nearly a decade ago.
I really don't care how long ago it is. He's shown that with the right players, he can win trophies. The problem is with Everton, I'm not so sure, A, he's got the right players, and B, whether eventually he'll end up with any better players.
Okay, let's take this forward then. If you spend supposedly 11.5 million to get a manager, as you said, they've got to furnish them with funds to get players in. If they do, because it seems stupid to spend all that money on getting Ancelotti and then getting him to try and keep the same squad or whatever. So if they add players, they might have to overspend for them because they're not in the Champions League. What's the glass ceiling for Everton if he's allowed to spend and get in who he wants?
Well, I think you've got to be realistic and say that if he can get them challenging for top four,
and
I'm not saying be in the top four.
This is long term.
Yeah, this is a project.
Yeah,
no question. This isn't turning around in 12 months. This is a project. But the project should be, we need to be, if we're going to invest that amount of money in a manager, and we're going to have to give him funds and reinvest another hundreds of millions we're talking, then the ceiling has to be at least fighting to get in the top four. Because getting in the top four is going to be hard. Everybody's way ahead of Everton right now. And so it's going to be difficult to try and catch that just financially as well. So it has to be at least competing for a top four spot.
Do you think what Liverpool has done in recent years, and they're probably going to win the title, has meant Moshiri, Everton's like, we can't get there yet, but we need to do something because Everton fans don't want to be in their shadow like they were when you played.
Right. Well, Liverpool's first port of call was getting in an experienced manager.
Everton's first port of call is getting in an experienced manager.
There you go. Liverpool then, the smart move they made was identifying players who could take a step up from where they were and get them for good money. And that's what they've done. Now, the 11 that Liverpool have right now, the majority of it has been sensible spending on players like Salah, the likes of Mane, the likes of Robertson, players like that who have an extra gear in them.
Yep.
And then once you get a solid base, then you can turn around and spend money on a Van Dijk at 80 million or an Alisson for 80 odd million as well. So it's there. The way to do it, all they've got to do is look across Stanley Park and see how it can be done. But they shouldn't forget, it's not easy. Liverpool have been really smart. It's worked out in the majority of players, which it doesn't usually do for anybody. And so, listen, the master plan is there. Can they do it?
Just finally, as a former Liverpool player and as a Liverpool fan, do you want a strong Everton?
Absolutely. Just not quite as strong as Liverpool.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.